The dangers of being in a wrong romance zone. The first thing, like the genesis, the synonymic and meaning of a romance zone, can be put across as the situation of being in a romantic relationship with someone. The statement, the dangers of being in a wrong romance zone, stands for the perilous things that come into manifestation by dint of being in a romantic relationship with someone who is not right for you. In this world there are different types of associations between different groups of people, and these types of associations have their features that creates characteristic distinctions to stay in existence between them. In these associations there are also different forms of relationships between different individuals, and again in these relationships between different individuals, there are extents to which they can go and as well limits to which they can reach without further procession and progression. To add to what had been said, associations between different individuals do exist to keep terrestrial activities and satisfaction of personal same as individual needs to be done on a daily basis, if not weekly, monthly or yearly. This creates to generate an impression that people in the world need each other to survive, for they cannot depend on themselves in order to be complete in their needs same as wants, which are their requirements. This fact, which is not a fiction, stays in concordance with the proverb that states that no man is an island. Besides that, there are some forms of personal connections that supersede the meeting of basic needs by dint of them being more than looking for what is basic, but instead they are taken too far by individuals who go to the extent of working hard and smart to get what is more special, like a secondary need, which is also something of substance. People's associations can include associating to engage in social tasks, cultural tasks, political tasks, religious tasks, academic tasks, economic tasks, professional tasks, charitable tasks, ministry-based tasks, and much more tasks where individuals can count themselves in like part and parcel of them. In addition to that, associations and relationships between people can be classified into two levels, namely, surface level of association and relation between two or more individuals, and deep level of association and relation between two or more individuals. Surface level of association and relation between two or more individuals is a level of association and relationship between different individuals which involve meeting for execution of important like necessary actions, but with no possibility of development of deep bond and intimacy between the individuals involved. This complicates the possibility and probability of such an association being more than the recommended kind of relationship in that perspective. For this reason it is left to be kept afloat like a balloon flying on the sky, or like a wooden boat floating on top of the sea without a possibility of the balloon coming down to touch the surface of the earth, or the wooden boat sinking deep up to the seabed. Therefore they are left to surface and be outward instead of being left to sink deep and be more than just an association. In this level of association and relationship, there are existence of entities like platonic friendship, professional relationships which aren't allowed to go beyond professional tasks, and also important relationships and interpersonal communication which take place but with an inclusion of personal boundaries to curb it from being taken too far. On the other hand, deep level of association and relation between two or more individuals is a level of association and relationship between different individuals which involve meeting for execution of important like necessary actions, but there is also existence of already developed deep bond and intimacy between the individuals involved. This kind of relationship doesn't complicate the possibility and probability of such an association being more than a surface-level relationship, but instead there is already existence of deep bond and intimacy between the individuals involved. In this level of association and relationship, there is existence of entities like romantic relationships between partners of the opposite sex, nuclear family relationship, and relationship between not just any kind of friendship but that of best friends. Further to that, it is by and large the choices and alternatives of people to decide the extent to which they require like an important requisite to let their association and relationship go and reach. In each of the decisions they make there are consequences, just as the statement that states that choices have consequences. But what is important now is giving the dangers of being in a wrong romance zone. Firstly, on the basis of dictionary definition, a romance zone means the situation of being in a romantic relationship with someone. From the same source of exposition, romantic friendship can be put across as an intensely emotional love relationship between two unrelated people, in which sexuality is unimportant and typically absent, but there is greater physical affection or poetic communication than is typical for friendship. To this end, it is apparent and transparent to understand that when you and your partner are in the zone of romance, it means that you are in a romantic relationship. Being present in a wrong romance zone stands for being in a romantic relationship where you are not recommended to be found in by dint of such a relationship being inappropriate for you. There are things that can make one to be in a wrong romance zone, and few of them include: 1. Being ignorant of the dangerous motives of the other partner. 2. Being ignorant of the marital status of the other partner. 3. A person not desiring to let go of his or her romantic partner. Supplementary to that, the following is a deep explanation of the dangers of being in a wrong romance zone. First and foremost, being in a romance zone does not happen in a vacuum. And with a vacuum being absent or not being present in this perspective, it means that matters that matter are present. These matters are the person present in a romance zone together with his or her partner in that zone of romance. Just as it has been explained earlier, being in a romance zone stands for being in a romantic relationship with someone. Coming to arrive at this point takes time for it to be successfully reached. On many occasions, it first happens when the two individuals of the opposite sex either meet on social media via a conversation or meet face-to-face for the very first time on an unplanned and unexpected date, or perhaps on a planned and unexpected date. The as clear as crystal meaning of an unplanned and unexpected date can be expressed as a date which was not planned and that which was not expected to take place. This particular date can happen accidentally, like an unexpected accident. From this date, conversation may begin to happen between the two individuals who have met for the first time ever since the beginning of their existence, and it may shorten to end quickly or lengthen to be longer than expected. It is in this meeting that one of the two individuals of the opposite sex may possess the power of attraction which makes it easier and faster for him or her to attract individuals of the opposite sex. The power of attraction in many occasions to come due to morphological factors such as having dressing code that makes other people to be attracted to the person in possession of such dressing fashions and styles. The power of attraction in many occasions to come due to morphological factors such as having a particular body color which can either be bright like a brown-skinned girl or dark like a black-skinned man that makes such a person to be the one and only individual having such a characteristic among hundreds if not thousands of people in such a location and place. Besides that there are other things that can make one have the power of attraction, but let's go back to the theme of this topic. To this end, it is the power of attraction that will make one of the parties involved in that particular meeting to get attracted to the other individual due to the other individual having alluring qualities that makes him or her pull the desire and wish of the other person to choosing to sit back and keep having a conversation with him or her. Just as it can be said that a person can give time, attention and concentration to what he or she loves, without doubt it is cut and dry to state that the charming and captivating morphological features if not factors possessed there and then by the other individual on that date acts as a stimulus that speedily stimulates the urge and desire for the already attracted individual to give his or her time, attention and concentration to having an ongoing conversation with the individual who have attracted him or her. Conversations keep taking place and upon coming to an end, they may desire to know each other's contact and name in conjunction with residential locations where they reside in, and that is how the foundation of their relationship reaches its terminus to give room for further procession and progression to take place with respect to time which is ongoing in a continuous non-stop motion. After the first meeting between the two parties involved that has taken place for the very first time in the universe of more than 4 continents, the attracted individual of the opposite gender may develop a feeling of love and affection for the other individual of the opposite gender. The already captivated individual can view this as love at first sight, which happens instantly like a bolt out of the blue, and before you can say Jack Robinson, when you ask such a person whether he or she loves the individual whom he or she met recently, he or she can say that he or she fell in love with the other person the first day that they met. What then follows can be strange experiences, such as such a person who has fell in love with the person who he or she met beginning to think more on a non-stop basis about the person who he or she now loves. In addition to that, he or she may find it difficult to propose to the person who he or she loves about his or her feelings of love and affection by dint of fearing the possibilities and probabilities of emergence of negative repercussions which comes following his or her propositions if not parapraxis. Further to that, it is genuine like what is sincere to state that a dangerous romantic partner may be in a romantic relationship with you, not for a good reason but for a damaging reason in a particular season. In such a wrong romance zone, you may be happy and feel like a person who is sitting on top of the world and walking on air thinking that you are loved with true love, but in reality false love is present, but you may not easily detect it because you are not omniscient to know everything, including whether your partner sincerely loves you, and you may not know the evil plans that he or she normally organizes behind your back in other places because you are not omnipresent to be everywhere at the same time like the most powerful supernatural being. However, if you keep on living in the valley of ignorance, you will come to know the reality of things when the wrong romance zone will have left thou down in the heels. This experience will give you dire lessons and more knowledge that will make you never to be susceptible and vulnerable to what can make you suffer the consequences of the same scenario again. This coincides with the proverb that states that lightning never strikes twice in the same place. It will be essential for you to go through some experiences in order to test for the authenticity of the romantic partner you may come across if you choose to experience what you want to experience, and at the end you will know whether they were valid for you or not. There is a quote from the Lessons in Life application program which states that sometimes you have to make a big mistake to figure out how to make things right. Mistakes are painful, but are the only way to find out the reality. The following are the dangers of being in a wrong romance zone. Firstly, the person you are in a relationship with may have other multiple romantic partners of the opposite sex, a situation and condition which renders your romantic partner to possess a multi-romantic relationship which makes him or her susceptible and vulnerable to be considered as a romantic partner of many individuals of the opposite sex. This situation will make you informed that you are not the one and only romantic partner of your partner, but there are other more people of your gender who are romantic partners of your partner of the opposite sex. For this reason you may fear being seen together with your romantic partner who have multiple romantic partners of the opposite sex by dint of you fearing the consequences that can emerge if you are seen together in an open or secluded place having a romantic time and conversation. Among the romantic partners of your romantic partner of the opposite sex, each of them will consider your romantic partner as their own romantic partner who shouldn't be shared with someone else or taken away from them. This can truly happen after the many romantic partners of your romantic partner have already developed a deep emotional connection with your romantic partner such that trying to separate them becomes impossible for some time, like trying to separate people having a soul tie. You may also feel that since you are a romantic partner of a partner who has other romantic partners of the opposite sex, your life may be in danger because jealous romantic partners of your romantic partner may perhaps finish you off by terminating your life in a way that they plan and undertake best if not better, with a mission of eliminating you in a one-touch fashion. This can happen because they view you as a potential threat who can take away the love of their life from them, who is your romantic partner of the opposite sex. For this reason, they may be working hard and smart in doing what it takes to act as the prices that they should pay for them to successfully bring down your romantic relationship between you and your partner to a point of downfall where makeups or breakups may be as hard like winning over a person. In their attempts to bring down your romantic relationship with your partner, they can use your close associates and also fake friends by assigning them the evil task of practically performing what is in their evil masterpiece and master plan that will act as a recipe of guiding them to perform actions that will impel and propel the romantic relationship between you and your partner to arrive at its endpoint. There is a statement which can be invented to state that a fake friend can be a very dangerous and destructive person because a friend of such caliber can masquerade as your real friend and be your close associate in order to do what it takes to cause you harm and bring you losses without you at first knowing that he or she is detrimental to your well-being, happiness and success. With their attempt to take down the romantic relationship between you and your partner, you will experience experiences such as other individuals of the opposite sex who you are not interested in beginning to be sent by your enemies with the aim of making them spend time with you elsewhere, secretly take selfies of you being together and later channel such evidences to your romantic partner with the aim of making your partner to negatively view you as a cheating partner. If your romantic partner is without the gift of discernment, He or she may believe what is being presented to him or her due to being ignorant of the fact that all such evidences were the results of evil plans that your enemies had created earlier in advance with an end goal of sabotaging to bring down the romantic relationship you had with your partner. Some of your fake friends and enemies can also bring down the romantic relationship between you and your partner by deceiving you that your partner is not interested in you in order to make you walk away from your partner with you at that time, not knowing that your partner still loves and cares for you. Such a deception craftily created by your fake friends and enemies can arise because your fake friends and enemies may be jealous of your romantic relationship that is present and ongoing. This happens due to your fake friends and enemies also desiring that your romantic partner takes them as a new romantic partner to replace you upon you walking away after ending the relationship with your partner. To this end, if your romantic relationship is valid, fake friends and enemies won't do you much good but will do you more harm if you don't place boundaries that limits them from bringing down your romantic relationship. In other scenarios, there have been instances of some romantic lovers of one romantic partner fighting over one romantic partner of the opposite sex in order to possess him or her as a romantic partner, a phenomenon that have led to death of many romantic individuals who were fighting over a single lover to be possessed as a potential one and only future spouse. Also, upon developing a deep romantic connection with a wrong romantic partner of the opposite sex, you may encounter perplexions that will leave you surprised and speechless the time, day and hour that you will discover that your romantic partner was already engaged or is planning to be engaged through marriage to his or her real spouse, but he or she has kept this secret from you until the day that you will be dumped and dropped like a non-useful or useless kitchen refuse. If you remain ignorant of how the end of things will come to manifestation, then you will suffer heartbreaking moments the day that you will be betrayed if you still place your hopes and faith in spending your future marital lifetime with such a romantic partner. Secondly, the other danger of being in a wrong romance zone can make you be used like an emotional tampon by the wrong romantic partner during his or her times of adversity. In line with the dictionary definition, an emotional tampon is a man who is used by a woman as a shoulder to cry on and then discarded. At first you may think that such a person has come to be your partner due to being discarded and dropped by his or her romantic partner. For this reason you may wish to start everything new once and for all with the person who has been discarded, and you will be tempted to form more than a friendship relationship with such a person of the opposite sex, not knowing that he or she will use you like an emotional tampon. Following you being used like an emotional tampon, you will eventually be discarded, and to make matters black and dark, you perhaps won't have any close human associate around you to comfort you for the heartbreaking and emotionally painful moments you will face after being discarded and abandoned by the person you invested your time, comfort and love on. Another thing is that a dangerous partner may pretend to have love and affection for you by performing lovesome demonstrations in your presence, but his or her goal will not be winning you over to love you sincerely, but his or her aim will be winning you over to place you in a state of breakdown. Also, in other cases, you are chatting with the wrong partner on social network and he has a motive of playing with your feelings. He or she will send you pictures of love bombs, like, for example, pictures symbolizing the heart, happiness, quotes and texts of love to lure you into believing that he or she has a soft spot for you. However, that will be like a trap to make you fall like a meteor in the ocean of believing that he or she sincerely loves you, but that is just an illusion. When you will have fell into the trap well planned and set for you, you will develop feelings of obsession to the person who not only want to play with your feelings. At this point you will think that you are loved, but in reality you are dealing with a person who wants to bring you a predicament by leaving you in a state of detriment where it takes more than a month to recover from if such a person doesn't choose like an option to leave like an alternative performing actions that may award him or her a reward of negative repercussions for eternity. The other after effects of being in a wrong romance zone plus having the wrong people in your life can include experiencing trauma, perplexion, anxiety, emergence of downfall of good projects and ministries following being affected negatively after psychological warfare being undertaken by the wrong partner. In addition, being in a wrong romance zone can subject you to a condition of dealing with unfaithful partners who cheats on you and bring you problems which you never wanted to experience in real life, suffering the weight and gravity of reputational damage upon you, orchestrating invalid actions that your wrong romantic partner was sent to act as a stumbling block with the mission and vision of causing you to fall in the trap of your enemies after you compromising your integrity standards and performing actions which are contrary to the hard and fast rules which you were not to break but to adhere and obey like commandments. Thou should know that not all romantic partners that can come your way may bring you a positive end of events in a romance zone, but some of them will do the opposite, which is bringing you negative end of events that will imperil and propel you to a no good endpoint where there is no joy and peace but pain and agony. Knowing the dangers of being in a wrong romance zone is something of substance, since it arms you with armament of coming out of the love zones where you should not be found and stepping into the zone you are needed.